It's wild how quickly the tide turns, especially in elite circles, where image is everything and loyalty has an expiration date. Meghan Markle just got a cold, sharp reminder of that. You'd think her longtime friendship with Serena Williams would count for something: years of public support, wedding invites, sweet interviews. But when Serena organized an exclusive girls' trip to Lake Como, Meghan's name wasn't even on the list. And that wasn't an oversight, according to insiders. This wasn't a scheduling conflict or a missed text. It was intentional, a message. The trip was private, tightly curated, a few high-profile women known for calm energy, quiet success, and, most importantly, zero drama. Emma Thynn, the Marchioness of Bath, was there. The same Emma who gracefully navigates British high society, made history as the first black Marchioness, and somehow stays in the spotlight without chasing it. She's everything Meghan once tried to be: elegant, mixed heritage, poised up without the noise. While Meghan's name sticks to controversy, Emma floats above it. That contrast, everyone noticed. Sources say Meghan did reach out. She tried. Serena even left voice notes for others in the group. But the replies, either silence or polite brush-offs. And the reason given: we're keeping this one super intimate. That's Hollywood's quiet way of saying, you're not welcome. The final blow. One of the women reportedly joked during trip planning, "You can't party with us." Just a joke, they said, but when it leaked, it hit Meghan like a slap. Because this wasn't high school, it was Hollywood royalty telling her she was out. The fall wasn't sudden. Meghan's been slipping for a while, maybe without realizing it. She used to be part of a group chat with Serena and other powerful women, but over time, her presence became a lot. Every convo somehow circled back to how unfairly she'd been treated. A friend shares good news. Meghan turns it into a story about being overlooked. Someone lands a deal. Meghan makes it about the struggles of women of color, but always centering herself. Eventually, the group chat was shut down. A new one formed. Meghan wasn't added. Even her closest allies were quietly backing away. Had defended her countless times, started pulling back. Not because of one big moment, but a slow buildup of exhaustion. It was more like quiet exhaustion. Silent boundaries. Calculated, deliberate distancing. And really, who could blame her? Serena's busy building her empire, focusing on motherhood, expanding into fashion, investments, and legacy businesses. The last thing she needs is to get dragged into another tabloid headline because Meghan decided to drop a not-so-subtle PR message through a podcast, Instagram caption, or a surprise Netflix segment. One of Serena's close business partners reportedly said it flat out: "If Meghan's coming, you can kiss discretion goodbye." That comment stuck, and it echoed. These women weren't looking for drama on their peaceful Lake Como weekend. They wanted calm, good wine, laughter, a few photos for the private album, not the Daily Mail front page. And Meghan, she found out about the trip through whispers, secondhand stories, subtle clues, tales being told without her name in them. And for someone who built an entire brand around empowerment and inclusion, there's something brutally ironic about being quietly excluded by the very women she once considered part of her inner circle. But this wasn't about jealousy, pettiness, or some mean girl dynamic. This was a reset. A quiet, strategic way of saying enough is enough. Hollywood isn't just about red carpets, deals, and paparazzi. It's a high-stakes chessboard. And every move matters. Meghan Markle used to be the queen piece, bold, iconic, impossible to ignore, with major alliances, a fairy tale wedding, and unmatched global visibility. But somewhere along the line, something shifted. Her story, once seen as a modern triumph of grit and grace, began to feel like a broken record. Legal battles, cryptic rants, production drama, staff turnover, Spotify exits, and endless headlines slowly turned sympathy into fatigue. The very industry that once embraced her started backing away. Not with drama, just silence. That's how it happens in Hollywood. They don't fire you, they just stop calling. Quiet exits, missed emails, meetings that never get scheduled. Insiders say a big part of the problem is Meghan's obsession with controlling the narrative. Every project had to be framed around her personal struggle. Every podcast, every interview, every press release echoed the same message: misunderstood, mistreated, misrepresented. For a while, it worked. People listened, they empathized. But over time, it wore thin. Executives wanted fresh ideas, not recycled grievances. Producers wanted compelling stories, not emotional soapboxes. Even her own team reportedly struggled to keep up with her need to shape every detail, every moment. Take her Netflix deal, for example. When it first dropped, it was pitched as the next big thing, personal, bold, disruptive, and impactful. But, behind the scenes, whispers started surfacing about creative disagreements, frustrating delays, and power struggles. Multiple projects were shelved quietly. Some scripts were flagged as being too self-focused, lacking broad appeal. One team member allegedly put it bluntly, "She doesn't know how to make it about the audience. It's always about her." That kind of feedback. Brutal, but in an industry that runs on connection and relatability, it's also a death sentence for creative trust. And it's not just Hollywood stepping back. Meghan's old circle from her royal chapter has all but evaporated. Relationships that once looked like unshakable alliances, Oprah, Gayle, Tyler Perry, are now distant, formal, and purely professional at best. Some still speak kindly of her in public, but the energy has shifted. There's a clear boundary now. No one's rushing to co-sign her next big project. Not because they're afraid of gossip, but because they're afraid of brand contamination, of getting caught in the wake of someone who's no longer seen as safe PR. And in Hollywood, that fear speaks louder than friendship. When every move she makes ends up under a media microscope, associating with her becomes risky. Meanwhile, Emma Thynn is out here playing the long game with precision and grace. She's not chasing press. She's not on Netflix. She's not even trying to rebrand herself. That's the kicker, she doesn't have to. Emma moves with calm intention, choosing quiet philanthropy, elegant appearances, and genuine interactions over viral soundbites or overproduced interviews. And somehow, without forcing it, she's become the it woman of the moment. Powerful, graceful, and completely drama-free. People are noticing the contrast. Both Emma and Meghan broke racial barriers in traditionally white, elite spaces, but their paths couldn't be more different. Emma embraced her heritage while gracefully adapting to aristocratic life. Meghan, on the other hand, turned every room into a battleground, us versus them. Insiders versus outcasts. Emma earned respect quietly. Meghan demanded it loudly, and often. One got invited to Lake Como. The other got left on read. They just move on. Meghan Markle built an entire brand on being the outsider who broke in. The American actress who married a prince, spoke her truth, and redefined what royalty could look like. For a while, that narrative worked. She was bold, emotional, defiant, a symbol for anyone who ever felt left out or underestimated. But somewhere along the way, the underdog story started morphing into a cautionary tale. The same headlines that once hailed her bravery now echo with criticism, not just from tabloids. Her own peers, the ones who used to champion her publicly, are now quietly stepping away. The reality is, Meghan's presence has become synonymous with chaos. She doesn't just attract attention, she drags it behind her like a hurricane. Lawsuits, exposes, tell-all interviews, endless PR maneuvers, it's non-stop. And for people like Serena Williams, who are transitioning into a softer, more refined chapter of their lives, that chaos just isn't worth the loyalty points anymore. When you're building empires in finance, wellness, and family legacy, drama becomes a liability. That's why the trip to Lake Como wasn't just a vacation, it was a filter. And Meghan didn't make it through. One source close to Serena put it simply, Serena's in her peace era. Meghan isn't. That peace era includes private yachts, business meetings over brunch, low-key philanthropy, and nights without a single TMZ alert. It's not about being elitist, it's about being selective. And Serena's selection said it all. Emma Thynn, not Meghan Markle, is who you bring when you want calm, elegance, and zero PR cleanup the next morning. Emma represents a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't announce itself with interviews or press kits. She doesn't need to sit across from Oprah to explain who she is. She lets her actions, her poise, and her quiet consistency speak for her. And that's exactly why women like Serena are gravitating toward her. She's the anti-Meghan in the most effortless, unintentional way. No press tours, no trauma memoirs, just legacy work and quiet wins. Back in Montecito, Meghan's response to the snub was reportedly a mix of disbelief and calculated PR strategy. She reached out to some of the women from the trip, sent texts, left voice notes, maybe hoping for clarity or a soft reset. But the replies, if they came at all, were short and carefully polite. One of them reportedly just said, "We're trying to keep things really chill right now." That's not a rejection. That's a freeze out. And the deeper sting wasn't just the silence, it was the symbolism. Meghan, who once positioned herself as a voice for empowered women, now finds herself quietly iced out by the very women she believed were her tribe. It's not pettiness, it's boundaries. For too long, she operated in a space where being vocal and visible felt like enough. But visibility without vulnerability, without real humility, has a short shelf life. In elite circles, being exhausting is often worse than being wrong. Meghan's perceived inability to share space without centering herself has cost her dearly. Relationships that could have lasted decades have burned out in just a few years. And now, as her circle continues to shrink, her moves feel increasingly forced. New podcast teasers, vague philanthropic ventures, staged photo ops, none of it sticks. The harder she tries to reclaim relevance, the louder the silence around her becomes. Emma's rise isn't just a story of grace, it's a mirror, one that reflects what Meghan could have been if she'd chosen quiet strength over constant resistance. The real tragedy isn't that Meghan got left off a trip, it's that she's becoming a guest in a world she once thought she owned. And no amount of curated speeches, branded documentaries, or polished optics can rewrite that.